It's been a minute. Yeah. What you want me to say, Abba? Because this is like we have so much to catch up on. By the time I post this video, I would have already posted a video, kind of like an explanation as to why I haven't been uploading as much as I would like. Yeah. So what's up? Yom Tov, Shalawam. Shalom, shalom. Let me see what else. Good morning. What else? What's goody? Tight. You know what I mean? What's in my cup? First of all, my baby girl got this cup for me. What am I drinking? It is Golden Seal, turmeric, and cinnamon, with almond milk and a bit of some water. Almond milk and some agave. So quick tip about almond milk, and then I'm gonna go on about my business. Bro, all nut milks or seed milks or whatever are not the same. You really need to be reading those ingredients. My almond milk is filtered water and almonds. That's it. And it's the heated process keeps it from separating, and that's why it can only have those two ingredients and be able to have shelf life, the preparation process. But you definitely need to be very intentional about, you know what I mean, your milks, because I know a lot of people, you know what I mean, as we grow and progress and move away from a lot of things, we just switch, right? But you can't switch. But that's a word. You can't just switch with no knowledge or no wisdom. Okay, there has to be an understanding as to what the switch is and why. You can go from cow's milk to any type of cashew milk, hazelnut milk, pistachio milk, but you need to be reading these ingredients and making sure that that's what you get, because a lot of it is filtered water, carrageenan, gelling gum, what else, Abba, konjac gum, all of these different things. No. Okay, so be intentional about what you're doing. Don't just do something because you feel like, oh, it should be done, or because other people are doing it and it seems like the right thing. It might be the right thing for you, but you need to ask right thing for them, but you need to be intentional in asking our Abba if it's the right thing for you. Hallelujah. Almost like Golden Seal and turmeric. She was on a mission. I'm on a mission. So yeah, like I said, it's been a minute. I have absolutely no clue how long. It says 4 minutes and 54 seconds before my phone, like my real phone, is broken. And I had an iPhone that just went black. I haven't had the time, the opportunity, or the finances to go and find out how I could get it fixed. So, yeah, I want to chat with us today. I want to talk about the journey that has transpired thus far and try to do as much backtracking as I possibly can, while it's still in the memory bank. You know, Yah has been exposing me to so many different things, and I have experienced so many different things that I feel like are very important to share, because a lot of my experiences are about to come up for other people, and also so we can all differentiate between what's going on, because my Abba told me that cancer is coming for a lot of people. It's the inevitable, right? A lot more people are about to be diagnosed with cancer. For some, it is a cleansing, and for some, it's judgment. And so it's very, very important for me to put these videos out there to discuss the things in which Yah has taught me and is teaching me to better assist my siblings in this journey along this walk. Hallelujah. So yeah, I'm gonna stop right here and see if I can continue to record, and if I can, then you're gonna see me in the same outfit. If not, then I'm probably, because I don't know when I'm gonna get back to it, but that's the point of this video. Okay, hallelujah. I think I did a little something for us to have a little bit more time. Bless you. All right, so I'm gonna try to backtrack as best I can, as quickly as I can, to just give you the facts. All glory to our Abba. I got our handy dandy here just in case Yah sends me somewhere, right? And I need to fact check myself, or just to go over something as it relates to what we're discussing. So my mom was diagnosed with cancer in March of this year, right? Came out of nowhere. I have a healthy family. I don't have a a family with a extensive history of any type of dis-ease or ailment. Like my grandparents didn't pass away from any diseases. My father, I think he just called me when I spoke with my father the other day, and he's just now telling me he thinks he needs to go get his eyes checked. Like, and he's been building houses and doing everything since I was, as far as I can remember. You know what I mean? I don't have elderly parents. My parents are in their 50s. Let's see what else. I'm just giving you that to try to create a platform of understanding that allows you to go on this journey with me, right? Excuse the look today. You know what I mean? It just is what it is for this moment. I do have on earrings though. I make sure I teach my daughter that because that's what I was taught as little girls are supposed to have on earrings. Okay. And then as you grow up, grown women are supposed to have on earrings too. You are a female, put some earrings on. Might not be for you. I'm just saying. In my house, put some earrings on. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so yes, my mother was diagnosed with cancer in March and pretty much was okay. Like I said, it came out of nowhere. She just started to notice blood when she would urinate, right? And it was just a little bit here and there, nothing too major. And she went to her doctor, and her doctor was like, it's probably just menopause or whatever, right? Because my mom has yet to go through menopause. Even now, with the cancer, I haven't seen any like signs of menopause. And to each his own, but if you take care of your body will take care of you. A lot of the things that are pushed as normal are actually abnormal and have absolutely nothing to do with the the perfect function of the human body, male or female. So check your idea or your understanding of normalcy and just review that with our Abba. But yeah, so she was like, okay, what else? Like all of the things that supposedly come with it, you know what I mean? Vaginal dryness, let me see, what else? Night sweats, mood swings, all of these different things, yada yada yada. My mother wasn't experiencing any of those things, but there was the slight like light pink. All right, and so that's what her doctor said, yada yada yada. Go on, move forward. She starts to have pain in her leg, right? My mom starts to have pain in her leg. Prior to this, my mom, you know what I mean, she works out, she's a pretty healthy gal. Bless y'all, she doesn't eat crazy. At least she to my knowledge, you know what I mean? Based on my understanding of eating crazy, eating out fast food all the time, greasy foods, fried foods, foods with a whole bunch of ingredients, a whole bunch of stuff in a box, potato chips, cookies, ice cream. Nah, that wasn't my mom's typical diet. That wasn't her regular thing. She wasn't regularly eating cookies, regularly drinking soda, regularly drinking coffee. She wasn't regularly digesting like chips and whatever from the aisle on the way out of the store and candies and all that. Nah, we don't come from that. You get what I'm saying? So that wasn't my mom's typical diet. She wasn't the SAD, right? The standard American diet wasn't my mom's thing. She wasn't going anywhere to get a cheeseburger. She wasn't going anywhere to go get a fried chicken sandwich. She's not eating pork, chitlins, all of that type of stuff. Smothered this, gravy, that. She's not going to Texas Roadhouse. She don't want no biscuits. You know what I mean? Majority of the time, the only time my mother would eat is if it was something I cooked. And I don't cook like that. I don't intentionally poison my family. No shade to anybody else. I'm just saying what I do. And so it's not like a lot of frozen foods and frozen pizzas and frozen dinners and all. Nah, man, that's not what's going on. And that wasn't what was going on. And so we never thought to even consider, like you should probably get checked for cancer. It just progressed. And then after a while, her leg was hurting, to the point where she couldn't work out. And we were thinking, dang, like what's going on? And so in her mind, she was like, well, maybe I need to move it a little bit more. I need a new mattress. So she's stretching and trying to incorporate flexibility into her regular routine with the assumption that, you know what I mean, maybe this is something that I can help or mitigate myself with some stretching increasing my mobility, yada, 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 because she was working. When she was working, she was working at a desk, right, in her office. And so maybe I'm sitting too much. I sit on the way to work. I sit at work. You know what I mean? So those were things that we were starting to look into. But I also noticed that she was starting to be tired, right? She was like, I'm just tired. And so fast forward, she gets the diagnosis when she goes to the emergency room. And it was wild because she drove herself to the emergency room. She was like, I'm going to go to the emergency room because she had been pushing it off for a little while. And I'm like, Mom, you should go since it's still happening. Just let them check. And they checked and come to find out it was cancer. So they transported her from the emergency room to the actual hospital. And we go in there and she has catheter bags, right? And these bags are filled with blood. Like, because now the blood is coming out of her urine a whole lot more, like filling up catheter bags. And so, of course, they call a urologist, and the urologist comes in and talks more about cancer and things like that and explains that, you know, she's going to have a surgery. So fast forward, my mom has the surgery. She's fine on the way to the surgery. She does great in the surgery. They're looking at her levels of her vitals, oxygen, fantastic, liver, kidney, fantastic, blood levels, although she has been anemic, like my mom has had to, well, we'll get into that. So blood levels, everything on paper or on paper. So they're looking at the paper and they're looking at her and they're baffled, right? Because on paper, they don't understand why or how she has this cancer, because based on what they're able to see on what's going on in her body, she's healthy and always has been. She's O positive blood type. The blood people, I can't even think of their names right now, but they're always calling and trying to find my mom because of her blood type can be given to anybody. Like, I'm just saying that to let you know, my mom, according to our understanding as humans of what healthy typically is, my mom has been that for years. All my life, I've never seen my mom go to the hospital. She's never had any surgeries. I've never known her to break anything, sprain anything. And she was a fitness instructor. She was doing Zumba. She was doing mixed fit. She was doing all of these things. Let me see what else. I've never seen my mom have a bad cold. Believe it or not, my mom's husband had COVID and she was with him and still didn't catch COVID. And when she did get COVID this year when my mom had COVID, she stayed home because she had to, but not because she was sick. She wasn't sick when she had COVID. And then the only time that she had started to get weak, it's because her husband was doing something outside and she went outside to help him. And as she was helping him, of course, you know, she had COVID. She overexerted herself and was exhausted. That was it. Other than that, my mom has never been sick in my entire life. And so I understood where the doctors were coming from as they were looking at it and then looking at my mom and trying to figure out, you know, when, where, how, and why. So going forward, she has the surgery. And they're telling her, well, back it up. They told her that it was a mass and they were going to remove the mass. They hadn't told her that it was cancer yet. They said there was a tumor. They're going to remove the tumor. And that's what they told her in the emergency room. It was a tumor. I don't think at that point that she knew it was cancer. Believe it or not, I did. Y'all had already prepared me for that, right? Y'all had already prepared me for that. When my mom's husband called me from the emergency room to tell me to come up there, I had already knew in my spirit that it was cancer. Y'all had prepared me maybe about a week before, daily on a regular basis, through movies, through music, through commercials, just in conversation with people, saying signs outside, like cancer. It was always cancer was coming up. And I was like, good gracious, Abba, sheesh. And so I knew that's what it was. Of course, I didn't voice that to my mom because I wasn't 100% sure. You know what I mean? And that's not what you say. Hey, you know what? Y'all told me you had cancer. Abba didn't tell me to tell her that. He was just preparing me. And I found out later on that he had did the same thing for my daughter because she knew as well. And so, like I said, backtrack. They hadn't told her that it was cancer yet. They told her that it was a tumor. She didn't find out that it was cancer until after the tumor. She had had the surgery with the urologist, and they confirmed that it was cancer. And not only was it cancer, but supposedly he wasn't able to get all of the tumor. So that now she needed to see an oncologist, right? A whole lot going on. This is a lot at one time. Cause like I said, my mom, she went from minding her business to being a cancer patient, and like that. She wasn't sick. She wasn't smoking. She wasn't drinking. Nothing. Like, she was minding her business, and then she went to being a cancer patient. Like, blink of an eye. But hallelujah, Abba, thank you for that. And that's the same way our Abba is turning this thing around. We're gonna go to bed one way, okay, and then we're gonna wake up in a totally different situation. All glory to the Most High. Yes. Okay. So she has the first surgery. She's in the first surgery. I'm probably gonna insert some pictures just to go along, just so you can see visually, you know what I mean, how well my mom looks. So she has the first surgery. She's in there. You know, you can't go in there doing prep. So she's taking pictures, sending us pictures, and and then we can finally go back in there. So we go in there and we're talking to the doctors that are going to perform the prep, right? So we're talking to the doctors that are going to perform the prep, and then the doctor that's actually going to do the surgery, he comes in, he gives us his whole spiel. My mom had met with him prior to that. She knew who he was. They had already had their conversations, yada, yada, yada. He does the surgery. Then she comes in for a follow-up after the surgery. And that's when he tells us, as we're all in a room, it was me, my mom, my daughter, and my mom's husband. And so we're all just sitting there, and then the doctor comes in and he's like, it's cancer. Like I said, we had already known that. Well, at least I did. And so I'm talking to my mom, encouraging her. And yeah, so we go home with that. She asked me to tell her siblings. And that's kind of like where it really, 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 really started for me, as far as my responsibility shifting overnight. She asked me to tell her siblings. I tell her siblings. This is my first experience with like a panic attack, right? So it wasn't full throttle. And I understood it more because I saw what's the cartoon? Inside Out 2. Bless y'all. Y'all better stop thinking that our Abba can't talk to you through anything that he chooses to, because he can, and he does. So I saw Inside Out 2. I understood what a panic attack was. I understood that I was having one, and I understood what I needed to do in order to calm myself down. Because it was just not because I was fearful, not because I was just like didn't know what to do, because I was panicking. It was just so much going on at once. And I was just trying to grasp it. I felt like my spirit was fine, but my flesh was so weak in that span of time, that everything that I was trying to navigate was really, really hard for me. And so I'm just sitting outside, and I realized I have shortness of breath, like I can't really, really breathe. And the inside of my brain at the top was tingling. Like I could feel, tingling on the top of my head. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to go get me some water. And so I go in the house to go get myself some water. And my daughter, bless you, starts talking to me about something, because she's sitting in the house with my mom. It's my mom and Nyla sitting on the couch. And I think my mom's husband is upstairs or something. I don't know. But I go in there and Nyla says something to me, and I have to open the blinds. And that kind of snapped me out of it. And then I drink some water, and I come back outside to finish doing the things that my mom has asked me to do as far as her siblings. Fast forward. Again, since then, she was fine. You know what I mean? She was minding her business, even with her diagnosis. She knows that the Abba got her. She's going forward. She sees the oncologist. We talk about immunotherapy. We talk about her treatment. She's not receiving any treatments yet. Like, this is an ongoing process. So all of these things are happening over the summer. By the time August gets here, my mom has her second surgery, right? Her first surgery was in June. Her second surgery was in August so they said, remove more of the tumor that they could not get all of in June. But even in this, it's like, well, why would you let them do that? Y'all's telling us go forward, let them do it. And I'll have to make another video, because this one is geared to say that time is up, about everything that Yah was saying. Right now, I'll just give you the process. So Yah saying, just go. Don't make a fuss about it. I have you go along with it. So she gets the second surgery. And, her oncologist is still talking about immunotherapy. She hasn't received any type of treatment yet. They sent her a paperwork for her to fill out for a scholarship, but by this time, my mom is too sick to even go. My mom was starting slowly but surely starting to get weak in her body. After surgeries lower your potassium. My mom is already anemic, and so she's losing a lot of blood. So she's just starting to September 11th, she gets a Mediport placed in. She has an outpatient surgery for a Mediport. Her leg is still bothering her. She's talking to her doctors about her leg. They send her to an orthopedic, right? There's a difference between orthopedic and orthopedic. They send her to an orthopedic specialist to look at her leg, and he's saying he wants to do a biopsy. My mom at this point has already had total body scans, and also, what else? Just a scan on her leg. All of these things have already transpired by the time this orthopedic surgeon is asking my mom to go get a biopsy. September 11th, she gets the Mediport to start treatment. Mind you, she isn't supposed to start treatment until October. I don't know why they pushed her treatment back that far, seeing how she had to get a second surgery. But, like I said, our Abba told us not to make a fuss. So she isn't supposed to start her treatment with that oncologist with the immunotherapy until October. She never makes it. Because in October, by the time October got here, my mom was in a vegetative state. She could not eat. She could not sit up. She could barely speak above a whisper. Her eyes were starting to bulge. And I ended up having to call the ambulance to come to my house to come get my mother. Okay. Super, 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 I wasn't afraid, but it was a lot going on. I'll just be honest. I wasn't scared because y'all have been coaching me through this whole thing. Like, I can't wait to make a video about that. As how our Abba was coaching me through this thing. Like, there was no time where I was afraid. There was no time where I was uncertain. And there was no time where I didn't know what was going on. Y'all told me out of his own mouth, I have her in my hand. And so, yeah, I had to call the ambulance. My aunt from out of town is actually here. During this time, this is my daughter's first year of high school. She made the cheer team. It was just so much going on. But we had to call the ambulance for my mom because she was sweating to the point where she was soaking wet. At this point, she had already fainted 4 times. I had to catch her. She was passing out in the house. Let me see what else. I'm not trying to rush, but I also see the time going on the phone as much as I can record. She's fainting in the house. She can barely walk. At this point, she has a rollator, and I'm rolling her around the house. She cannot come up and down the stairs. It's too painful. Then she starts to crawl. She has to crawl when she wants to go up the stairs and scoot when she wants to come down the stairs. So we end up having to take her to the emergency room because she can't breathe. I'm like, my mom she's not getting enough oxygen in her body. She hasn't had food in about a week. She's also hasn't used the bathroom in any way, shape, or form. Number one. Number two, she's not, and then she started vomiting. She threw up maybe twice, and it was a whole lot. And I'm just like, what in the world? So we call the ambulance. The ambulance comes. I'm in the ambulance truck. I'm looking, I'm asking, is she okay? They're like, yeah, she's okay. Our Abba is telling me that she's okay, but I also know in her body there are things going on. We get to the hospital. And it's really, really wild because they're asking questions that I have never been asked before. Like, my daughter has gone to the hospital because she's had excruciating menstrual cramps to the point where she has to be hospitalized. And so I'm familiar with the dynamics of the emergency room, but it got really, really real here because they were asking me about DNR, do not resuscitate, asking my mom, does she have a will? Asking me, right? Because at this point, my mom is kind of out of it. They had to give her oxygen. My mom ended up having both of her kidneys fail. My mom ended up having to receive emergency dialysis. My mom also had to receive 2 blood transfusions over the course of one day. It was Shabbat. She got there maybe about 2 in the morning. By the time 4 or 5 got there, she was already in the trauma in the ICU for emergency dialysis. And because she was so dehydrated, they couldn't stick the emergency dialysis catheter in her body. They had to try multiple times and multiple angles. And all my mom could tell me is that if she could just feel me massaging her, she wasn't in any pain, because our Abba loves her so much that he takes care of us in every way that we need to be taken care of. Because prior to that, my mom would just ask me to rub her, and I would just sit and rub her, and then my aunt would come to see her, and she would rub her. And so she said that's all she could feel while these people were trying to find a way to get this catheter in, find a vein, find any vein that would take it, find anywhere that they could stick it for the dialysis. And so even in that, I had to sign paperwork, and it was just, yeah, it was a lot. So here we are now. My mom has started to receive cancer treatment, and we'll talk about that in another video. But bless y'all for all things. That's what's been happening. Since then, a lot more has happened, but I only have 23 minutes on this video, and I'm already at 21. So I want to end right now with giving our Abba glory, because he has allowed me to see and hear and do and experience and authorized so much. Like, he has matured me and has elevated me in such a way that so much rides on my word now. You know what I mean? Not just because, oh, you have power of attorney, but prior to that, you know what I mean? It was, I had to be asked. And it also flipped the dynamics of, on the outside looking in, what's going on. You know what I mean? Because like I said in previous videos, everyone has so much to say about me being at my mom's house, and me being at my mom's house without working, and with my daughter, and what's going on, and yada, yada, yada. And she's always talking about, yeah, this, yeah, that, but I can't see it. And now it's like our Abba has caused that to kind of dwindle, to the point he's also going to cause it to shut down. But right now he's causing it to dwindle, because now you can see why Yah has had me do the things that he has had me do up until this point, and also what he has me doing now. And so it's very, very important for me to give our Abba glory and to keep the focus on him, because it's not about me. It's not about my mom. It's not about her experience. It's about how wonderful and amazing our Abba is, and how intentional and how attentive he is. And so I want to end with that. And until next time, Shalawam. I love us. Most importantly, I love our Abba, and our Abba loves us. And so may he continue to keep you, guide you, love on you, forgive you, show you mercy, grace, and he continue to be faithful to all of us. And may it not only just be for me and for you, but for all connected to you. Okay? Shalawam.